Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when the hero who swore to protect everything he loved becomes the very nightmare itself? Well, in Dragon Ball Super, that question gained unbearable weight when Goku Black, the dark distortion of our protagonist, unleashed his hatred on the ones he should never have touched, Chi-Chi and Goten. A brutal, unsettling scene that still chills fans to this day and raises the painful question: what happens when the face of hope becomes the face of destruction? The story begins in a strange, quiet way. We're used to seeing the Sun family as home as a place of peace. The sound of a pan on the stove, Chi-Chi scolding Goku Goten playing outside, a normal, almost mundane routine. But it's exactly this peaceful setting that makes Goku Black's arrival even more terrifying. He didn't appear with thunder or the chaos of a sudden battle. He arrived calmly, with that cold, calculating stare, and the body identical to Goku's. Just imagine, you open the door and see the face of the love of your life. But that smile, that spark in his eyes, are gone. What remains is emptiness, a shadow. Chi-Chi, always fierce when it came to protecting her family, didn't realize at first. To her, it looked like Goku, but something felt wrong. The silence was heavy, his aura suffocating. Goten, curious as ever, also didn't sense the danger right away. That's when the horror unfolds. Goku Black doesn't hesitate, doesn't explain, doesn't give a chance. The brutality with which he takes Chi-Chi and Goten's lives is not just physical violence, it's symbolic. He doesn't only kill Goku's wife and son, he destroys the very core of what kept the Saiyan tied to his humanity. The home is violated, the family shattered, and the image of the hero is used as a mask to commit the worst betrayal. Here's a detail many overlook. This act wasn't just cruelty. It was strategic. Goku Black wanted to erase what Goku represented. He didn't just want to kill physically, he wanted to destroy emotionally, to leave scars that would never heal. Because, deep down, that was what set Black apart from Goku, where the original drew strength from love and bonds. The others saw those bonds as chains that had to be crushed. At this point, it's impossible not to think about the fans' shock. Watching that scene is uncomfortable because it messes with our memories. Goku was always the symbol of hope, of innocent kindness, who could make us smile even in the darkest moments. And seeing that face become an instrument of horror, it's as if the anime itself was saying, heroes can become monsters too. And hey, before I go on, let me tell you, there is something that is the opposite of that suffocating silence Goku Black brought. It's sound that surrounds you, embraces you, and makes you feel present in every detail. If you love music or want to transform your home into a full immersive space, you need to check out the Harmon Kardon Citation 1 MKI smart speaker with crystal clear sound, elegant design, smart connection, and audio that fills any room. The kind of product that blends technology with emotion. Exactly that. Back to the nightmare. What makes the scene even crueler is thinking about the perspective of the real Goku. He wasn't there when it all happened. He couldn't stop it, couldn't scream, couldn't fight. When he found out, the feeling wasn't just anger, it was helplessness. The villain hadn't just attacked innocents. He showed he could manipulate even Goku's identity, turning his image into something feared and hated. This role reversal forces us to think. Is a hero defined only by his victories? Or is he also the shadow that someone else can use against him? The trauma of losing Chi-Chi and Goten at the hands of someone who looked like him is a wound that goes beyond the story. It's a slap in the face of the audience, a shattering of what we believed untouchable. And that's when Dragon Ball Super showed it wasn't afraid to toy with emotion. Because it wasn't just about strength, not only about who had the most power, it was about shaking the heart of the narrative, poking at the hero's essence, and making us ask, what if Goku wasn't a symbol of kindness, but of fear? The horror of Goku Black isn't just in what he did, but in what he represented. He was the distortion, the reflection of what could happen if Goku's power was guided by hatred instead of love. And that's what makes the scene unforgettable. The deaths of Chi-Chi and Goten weren't they just creamies. They were a message to Huani Safi. Not even those we believed were protected by the protagonist's light. And in the end, when the dust settles and silence once again takes over, one question still echoes to this day. ISNT, a hero's greatest nightmare not being defeated, but becoming the enemy of everything he swore to protect.